Go ahead, Vivek.
Good evening, Toastmaster, and welcome to tonight's speech marathon. Before we begin, can I get a big, warm round of applause to kick things off? So tonight's theme is evaluate to elevate, and there is a line that sums it up perfectly. Keep remember, feedback is the breakfast of champion. Think about it. Every speech you give tonight, every piece of feedback you give or receive is fuel, and fuel only work when you actually use it. So tonight, speak boldly, evaluate honestly, and let's all elevate together. With the spirit, let's begin. Welcome to meeting number 474. I am Vivek Atri, Sergeant at Arms for today. We provide a sportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. You are now inside the code of conduct of Toastmaster meeting. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and that it may not be possible to pause the recording. The following are the meeting rules. Please be advised that any behavior that disturbs the flow of meeting will result in removal from the meeting room without any warning. Please ensure that your noise making device are either switched off or on silent mode. Please speak responsibly on religion, sex, and politics in your speech. As far as possible, please keep your video on, audio off, and applause following throughout. Be the kind of audience for others you would like to have for yourself. TMOD, TTM, and GE. Please ensure a smart audio video check before handing over to respective role players. And role player, please rename yourself as a role player, underscore your name, underscore your club name. You may omit the club name if you are a member of TPTM. Please acquaint yourself with the role of the timer. The timer will use background change screen sharing to indicate the time using one or three cards. Green means that you have reached the minimum qualification time. Yellow indicates that it is a good time to start concluding. Red specifies that you have 30 seconds more or you will be disqualified. Individual session timing will explain in due time. We encourage you to use the Zoom emoticons genuinely to encourage role players. We sincerely request you not to send chat message to everyone or the on, on stage. In fact, refrain from chatting altogether and focus on the speaker. Reiterating, please stay on mute until specifically request to unmute. Poll will be launched after each session and they will be closed after 30 seconds. Now it's time to hand our things over to today's presiding officer. He is a distinguished Toastmaster and a district level champion, but ask him about the trophy and he will tell you they were never the point. In his own word, he does this so that someone's life change. The award it comes is just a bonus. So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to invite our presiding officer for today's meeting, Toastmaster Rupender. Toastmaster Rupender, please do your audio video check.
Am I audible, visible?
Yes, you are audible.
Let's have a round of applause for our Sergeant at Arms. And one thing that he said was that feedback is the breakfast of champions. I'm so glad I got that right because I usually start that quote from breakfast because that is the first thing that I'm reminded of being the foodie that I am. So often I say that breakfast is the feedback of champions, or I know it doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense to start it with breakfast. A lot has happened over the last week, but one particular happening has overshadowed all of them. For a start, before I go into that, I would like to welcome our guests. I acknowledge the presence of President of Toastmasters Club of Speaking and Leadership, Toastmaster Kanav Huria. Let's have a round of applause for him. He will be called on stage to deliver his speech, and after that, we'll be asking for his valuable feedback. I also take this opportunity to welcome some new members to our club. And a huge thank you to Anant Katyayani of making sure that our club's future is secured as far as renewals for September as well as March are secured. So let's have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Anant Katyayani. I'll come back to him later. But first, let me welcome to our club past Vice President Education of Turning Point Toastmasters. In fact, I think he was the Vice President Education when I went to Chicago. Toastmaster Rahul Chaudhary. Welcome, Rahul. We will ask for your feedback. Also joining us as an official member now, past president of Turning Point Toastmasters, Toastmaster Chandni Agarwal. Chandni, most welcome to our club, and she's also going to be a speaker today.
Thank you
I,
so much.
I also welcome as a member, a former club member at Professional Speakers, and I believe the past president of Professional Speakers Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Seema Gupta. Most welcome, Seema. Let's see. I also welcome Dinesh, our newest member. Thank you, Dinesh, for joining the club and joining the meeting today. We don't have table topics today, so you will not get the chance to display your speaking prowess, but I promise you in the coming meetings, you will get a fair chance. I also welcome the Vice President membership of our sister club, Gurugram Professional Toastmasters, Toastmaster Navdip, and the Vice President Education of Janakpuri Toastmasters, should be Tilak Nagar Toastmasters because of location, but for whatever reason, Toastmaster Sara Nirmare. Most welcome to everyone. Now, as promised, the event that overshadowed almost all our accomplishments, we have had a new addition to the Toastmasters family. I made a mental count, and I believe that ever since certain people joined Toastmasters, there have been a total of 7 kids that have been born in the Toastmasters family. Honorable mentions being Toastmaster Megha, our past Toastmaster Neeraj, and I think Anshuman had a kid, and then Nimit. I count at least 7. From the way I look at it,
Toastmaster
we
Neeraj and Toastmaster Ankit also.
yeah, that also. The way I look at it, we at least have an executive committee ready for a Gavels Club now. A total of 7. Rest of them we can accommodate in associate roles. But the latest edition happened on the 4th of August. Toastmaster Anant Katyayani became a proud father of a baby girl. Let's all unmute ourselves and join in congratulating him. Many congratulations,
Many,
Anant.
many
Congratulations,
congratulations.
Anant.
Congratulations, Anand.
Congratulations,
And
Anand.
And
celebrate. God
Anant, would you
bless.
want to talk about your venture that you are going to launch at the TLI this week? Would you
I
want to
think
talk
I'll
about
cover
it?
it during the session itself.
Okay, I'll leave that surprise to you. But here is the thing. Toastmaster Anant has another achievement today. He is going to lead a marathon of a total of 4 speakers. Originally, it was going to be 6. And I was asking myself, how are we going to accommodate 6 speakers? And Anant said, worry not. His favorite phrase, worry not. I'll manage. So now I want to see how he's going to manage 4 speakers today. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you our Toastmaster of the evening, distinguished Toastmaster Anant Katyayani. Let's have a huge round of applause for him. Let's do a very quick audio video check, Anant.
Hi, Rupinder. Am I audible?
You're audible and you're visible. If you could spotlight yourself, it will be great.
I think I'll go without the spotlight. Let's keep this
Yes,
session involved as much as
there
possible.
is nothing in spotlight. Honestly, I am witness to that. Spotlight, biggest achievements happen outside the spotlight.
Yep.
Don't go for the spotlight, go for the learning. So speaking of learning, our theme today is evaluate to elevate. So Toastmaster Anant, evaluate to elevate, evaluate to elevate, Toastmaster Anant.
Thank you. Let me ask everyone, what's your favorite role in a Toastmasters meeting? And you don't need to say evaluator, you can say anything. That's
General
generally
evaluator.
interesting to you. General evaluator says today's general evaluator. Anyone else?
Toastmaster of the day.
Same.
And
Toastmaster of the
Vivek
day.
did a Herculean job over there recently. Yes, Animesh? Oh, you were the
Same.
TM
Toastmaster.
last week? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else?
TMOD and grammarian. I like both the roles.
You definitely would love grammarian because, folks, she is an English professor. All right. And she has, by the way, a YouTube channel where she teaches English tips with over 65,000 followers, I guess, and counting. So
Yes,
do
thank you.
give it a shot. Search her out. By the way, this meeting itself is being live streamed on YouTube. The very purpose is that anyone who gets to speak today, they can very well check later on as a self-critique, as well as share it with their loved ones, near and dear ones, and sometimes the feared ones like Rupinder for follow-up feedback. For now, pick up any role. Even if you don't say anything, be it timer, be it grammarian, be it evaluator, be it even joke masters of the day in some club meetings somewhere across the world, and many different roles. There is also a snack master in some clubs, large enough clubs. Yes, there is an entire logistics team taking care of the snacks part. Any of these roles, I call them a leadership role opportunity. We learn some things over there. But wouldn't you agree that it's not about performing the role, it's about putting yourselves to the scrutiny, to the process, go through that, come out imperfect, let people call out your imperfections, and then try to improve on that yourself, as well as leave an opportunity for the observers in the meeting to emulate that role and not commit the same mistakes. This whole process, I believe, is the fulcrum, the fundamental cornerstone of the Toastmasters experience. That is why I have been a member, continuous member since June 2011. This June, turn of July, I completed 15 years in Toastmasters and counting. Simple reason being, I see gradual improvement every speaking opportunity at a time, every week after week. Today, I had no business of coming here, but I didn't want to miss out this opportunity when we are having the first ever marathon, and it will be a monthly event for as long as you guys nominate for the speaker roles. So I didn't want to miss out this opportunity today because here I am putting myself to the same grind and committing to imperfections, which our general evaluator will call out, so that you guys can take up these roles and do it better. That whole thing, if we can encapsulate, is evaluate to elevate. Evaluation being the today's exercise and elevation being tomorrow's outcome. Any role that you take, not just the prepared speeches or TMODs or even general evaluator role, it has an inherent learning. Even if you don't speak today, you just attend it in a passive traveler mode with videos off, but you listen to some people, you never know, you might be imbibing some future speech idea. Maybe your next TEDx speech can be built around any chance words that drop into your ears. Who knows? So open up, not just your eyes or videos. Open up your minds, open up your ears, open up yourself with the attitude. If possible, yes, with videos on. If not, fine. But open up so that we can learn from our amazing speakers, evaluators, role players, and anyone who contributes to this meeting. The biggest contribution, of course, will be from audience. Anytime the speakers come on the stage, they try to crack a joke, do show your reaction. Don't just keep, nobody's laughing. Why should I? Laugh out loud. Show some reactions. Can we do some reactions, some effects? Let's switch on the videos and let's take a quick selfie so that we can paste it in the WhatsApp group in between the speeches. More and more people can come because of that. So let's switch on the videos, everyone, for a quick 5 seconds. And I'll take a quick screenshot over here. Switch on the videos. On my count, on my signal, launch your emojis. On the count of three, launch the emojis. 1, 2, 3. And selfie taken. That's it. Moving on, to lead this evaluate to elevate, it's not my job. It's a battery of role players. And the Gabbar Singh of this entire gang is our president, the commander in chief. Let's invite our commander in chief to explain the role of general evaluator, and for the online audience, if not the current one, who are your role players and how they are going to help everyone over here. Rupinder, can I spotlight you and do a quick audio?
No need for a spotlight, but sure.
Sure,
I'm audible and visible.
you are.
Thank you very much, Anant. Good evening once again. My name is Rupinder, and I'm happy to be a general evaluator today. As general evaluator, my job is to mentor and monitor the meeting, making sure that it adheres to the core values of Toastmasters International, which is integrity, respect, service, and excellence. We have four prepared speakers today, and correspondingly, we have four speech evaluators. To the evaluators, I encourage you to provide encouraging and empowering evaluations. I am aided in my task by three key role players, and these role players will help me in maintaining three C's of communication. In Toastmasters, we make sure that our communication is concise, clear, and correct. The role player that helps me ensure that my communication or our communication is concise is the timer. And our timer today is Toastmaster Renu Kumari. I would ask Renu Kumari to unmute herself and do an audio video check before she explains her role. Toastmaster Renu,
Am I audible?
you're audible, you're visible, you're incredible. Let's go ahead.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished Toastmasters and guests. I'm the timer of the day. I am responsible to keep a track of time taken by various speakers and role players. Typically, a prepared speech is timed for 5 to 7 minutes. But for today, Speaker 1 the timing of speaker 1 Chandni is 4 minute to 6 second, and for speaker 2 Pooja it's 3 minute to 7 minute 3 to 4 minutes, and for speaker 3 Kannav it's 5 to 7 minutes, and speaker 4 Animesh it's 5 to 7 minute. uh, Now I'll show the green card at 5 minute. Let me show you.
Hello? Do you want to talk? Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
No worries. You can switch to the other file.
Just give me 1 second.
Sure.
I think my screen is visible now.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay. I'll show the green card at 5 minute, the yellow card at 6 minute, and this red card at 7 minute. There is a grace period of 30 seconds on either side. I request speech evaluator to apprise me if the speech time is different from 5 to 7 minutes or 4 to 6 or 3 to 4 minutes. For the table topics, each speaker is required to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. I'll show the green card at 1 minute, the yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and the red card at 2 minutes. For table topic speaker, have a grace period of 30 seconds on the plus side. Speech evaluators are allotted 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes for evaluation. The green card will be shown at 2 minutes, the yellow card at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and the red card at 3 minutes. There is a grace period of 30 seconds on either side. Please note that as a timer, I will keep the card up until the speaker stops speaking, unless otherwise instructed by the Toastmaster of the day or general evaluator. I will provide no signal, verbal or non-verbal, to indicate that your time is up. Any speaker who finished before or after the grace period will not be considered. I will submit the report to the evaluation section. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Renu. And now I invite on stage the person who will make our communication clear. How does that happen? Let me introduce the R counter, Toastmaster Sadhna. Let's do an audio video check, Sadhna.
Am I audible and visible?
You're audible, you're visible, you're incredible. Go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So, as the AHA counter, my responsibility is to listen to everyone who speaks during the meeting and note any unnecessary filler words and verbal crutches that may reduce the effectiveness of a speech. These includes words and sounds such as well, so, like, and repeated words. And my purpose is to help each speaker become more aware of these habits and improve the clarity, confidence, and fluency in speaking. And at the end of the meeting, during the evaluation session, I will present a brief report highlighting my observations. So, thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Many thanks, Sadhna, for introducing your role in a clear, concise manner, just as the role of our counter should be. And now for the role player that helps us make our communication correct. And that happens to be the grammarian. And our grammarian today is Toastmaster Navdit. Navdit, if you can be spotlighted and do a very quick audio video check.
Yes, am I audible?
You're audible and visible. Go ahead.
Yes. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. It's my pleasure to be the grammarian for today's meeting. As your grammarian, I will take note of the good usages and not so good usages of English language by the speaker and role players. It is also my duty to provide you all with a word and a phrase of the day. I would encourage all the members to use the word and the phrase of the day whenever they find the opportunity to. So coming to the word of the day, our word of the day is astute. Astute is an adjective. It means having or showing the ability to accurately judge situations and make wise, practical decisions. Its synonyms are shrewd, perceptive, discerning, sharp. An example, our general evaluator gave astute feedback that helped every speaker identify practical ways to improve their next speech. I request everyone present to acknowledge the usage of the word of the day with a thumbs up. Next, we have our phrase of the day. Phrase of the day is on the flip side. It means looking at or considering the opposite point of view or another aspect of a situation. Example is preparing a speech allows us to refine our ideas, but on the flip side, table topics challenge us to think on our feet and speak with confidence. I would request everyone to acknowledge the usage of the phrase of the day with 2 thumbs. And I will be submitting my report when called upon by the journal evaluator at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that astute explanation of your role, Toastmaster Navdit. Now, moving on, I would encourage everyone to use the word of the day as much as possible, except for the prepared speakers. Please don't spoil your speech in trying to use the word of the day by focusing too much on the word of the day. Because on the flip side, I want you to stick to your speeches and not on the word of the day. Like I often say, do not be solving equations inside your head while you're delivering a speech. Leave that for the table topics. On that note, I will be back during the general evaluation section to evaluate the rest of the speakers and to provide feedback from my side. With that, I hand it back to our Toastmaster, meeting host, Distinguished Toastmaster Anant Katyayani.
Thank you so much, Rupinder and the evaluation team. Well, before I start going into the prepared speakers, here is a list that I want to share with you all. This is the list of those who have renewed or reinstated with us. I have posted the list in the chat. The interesting fact about this list is that we have, out of these 14 people who have secured the club till March/September next year, out of 14, around 8 people are those who have reinstated. Some of those have reinstated after years of break. Like, take a guess. Those who are new to the club or those who are not a member, perhaps people like Manoj or Shaleen, anyone, Navdeet, let's take a guess, or Sarah. What is the number of years after which they may have resumed? Give me a number.
5.
Okay. Anyone else? Give a number, Shaleen.
7.
Anyone say 2? 7?
7.
Okay. Fine. I think Shaleen gets it. There are a couple of people in this list who have joined us after good 7 years. They discontinued in Toastmasters due to personal and professional reasons before I joined Turning Point Toastmasters. So, in a way, I met them only this very month in a virtual mode. And I have only heard about their speaking prowess. Some of them being Rahul, who has been a past division champion, district finalist. There has been Chandni, who has been the past president and holds the title as one of the only few people Rupinder is afraid of. So yeah, that says a lot. Today, Chandni is going to be our first speaker. And guess, in Pathways, when she starts, she is going to start as an icebreaker. Yeah, Pallavi was a next level. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmaster Chandni is someone who I definitely am going to look up to. I'm going to learn from her while helping her brush up on Toastmaster skills. Today being the first hurdle that she crosses. When she delivers the icebreaker speech today, after good 7 years, I request all of you to do this, as is the custom. Either stand up. If you cannot, then at least show an astute round of applause. If possible, unmute it after her speech and deliver a hearty round of applause so that it motivates her and anyone who has joined the club or reinstated to just go into that journey with full force. Before I introduce Chandni and spotlight her, let me invite her speech evaluator, Toastmaster Srishti, right from Malaysia, to share her speech objectives. Srishti, spotlighting you.
Hi, am I audible and visible?
You are.
All right. Okay, so today I have the honor of evaluating Toastmaster Chandani, who I have heard so much about, and I'm looking forward to hearing her speech. She is attempting level 1, speech 1 of the Path Motivational Strategies. So her speech is the icebreaker, and the purpose of this speech is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. And I am looking forward to hearing what she has to say. Over to you, Toastmaster Anant.
Thank you. Toastmaster Rupinder, if with your permission, may I request you to handle the spotlighting in between? Thank you. So let's invite Chandni and add her to the spotlight as I read a few tidbits about her. Ladies and gentlemen, Chandni is someone who is into a job that would be a dream job for some of us. She is truly the one who is following her passion. She is founder of Transforming Travels. It's a featured startup into the travel and leisure space. featured recently on Indian Express as well, and featured across many magazines. We shared some of the links in our WhatsApp groups. She is a Toastmaster since July 2017 and joining after a huge gap of 7 years. However, when she joined back, she told me this: Anant, you need to propel me time to time because I tend to get into distractions, personal, professional ones. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, let us give her an experience as a viewer, as an audience, that she never forgets. Let's make this icebreaker speech of hers a truly unforgettable experience. Chandni, quick audio video check. Your video seems completely all right. Quick audio check. Say, repeat this phrase after me. I am incredible.
I am incredible.
Rupinder, did she sound incredible enough? Okay, he gives a thumbs up. Chandni is attempting, as Srishti said, her icebreaker from motivational strategies, and let it be a truly motivational speech. Timer, please note, timing is 4 to 6 minutes. So green, yellow, and red will be at 4, 5, and 6 minute signals. Toastmaster Chandni Agrawal, from nerd to nomad, my journey. From nerd to nomad, my journey. Toastmaster Chandni Agrawal.
What an irony. I am delivering an icebreaker speech at Turning Point Toastmasters after a long gap of 7 years. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm an engineer by qualification, a traveler by heart, and an entrepreneur by profession. I was born and brought up in Kurukshetra, which is a giant city in Haryana, and most of you must be knowing it by land of Mahabharata. After completing my schooling from Kurukshetra, I moved to Noida to study, pursue engineering. I was a sweet, cute, innocent girl with oversized power glasses and big dreams in her eyes. I thought engineering will teach me how to fix my computer. Later, I found out it had nothing to do with that. Well, that was a reality check. But I wasn't worried since I was pursuing MBA as well because I was enrolled in a dual degree program where we were awarded both degrees, BTech and MBA, in a span of 5 years. Since my romance began to fade with engineering, I decided to take research and management. I started writing research papers on advertising, research and management, and they got published in very prestigious journals, including Harvard Business School. I was very happy. I'll pursue a PhD in economics or maybe public policy. That's what I thought. And I was building perfect profile for it. I had found a job in one of the think tanks that was affiliated with Harvard Business School, although I had to leave that job because of toxic work culture, but then found another one, an amazing one, and my life was going very well. Little did I know that years later, I would no longer be researching on global economic crisis and presenting my reports in forums like United Nations, but I'll be living a semi-nomadic life where I'll be taking people to the most beautiful destinations around the world and be a part of their travel stories. But this happened. My life took a U-turn when something happened to me, something very beautiful, 12 years ago. I decided to take a break from my job and go for an educational semester. But it was not an ordinary educational semester. It took us through 11 countries in a span of 2 months. And while doing all this, we were living on a ship. Every new country challenged my assumptions. And in between those 11 countries, I found a new version of myself. This experience was very powerful and very transformative for me. After coming back, I said goodbye to my research career and all the fancy tags related to it and started leading a semi-nomadic life. Like I said, my experience was so transformative that the name of my travel company, Transforming Travels, is inspired from that experience. I made other plans. I never had any plans to start a travel company. Like I said, I was a sweet, cute, innocent nerd who always grew up in a very overprotective environment. But now I always say that God had chosen me to deliver travel experiences, to become a beautiful story in the life of people, to show them a world outside their lives so that they can get outside their routine and see that something beautiful exists outside. On this journey, I also discovered a new version of myself. I always say that life didn't follow the plans which I made. It just took me with its own flow. Engineering taught me to think, travel taught me to live, research taught me to question, and I think Toastmasters will teach me to inspire. And who knows, 7 years later, I might be back on the stage sharing another beautiful chapter of my life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for encouraging Chandni with that hearty set of applause. Timer, please show us a soft signal after 1 minute. Let us use this 1 minute for providing some commendations, some words of praise, some genuine motivation booster to Chandni. And if you have any easy implementable area of improvement, pass it on in a bullet point with Chandni in one-on-one chat. Praise in public, recommendations in private. Thank you, Renu. Let us move now to a speaker who is an accomplished professional beyond her regular day-to-day job as well. Before I introduce in detail about her, let us invite her evaluator, someone who is helping me handle the VP education duties in this club right now, Toastmaster Megha, or shall I call CA Toastmaster Megha. Let me spotlight Megha for reading out the objectives for our speaker number 2, Toastmaster Pooja.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anand, for such a sweet, for adding CA to the name in my introduction. The purpose of the speaker is to practice social speeches in front of club members today. Social speeches could be anything. It could be a toast, an acceptance speech, or a speech to honor an individual or an organization. Toastmaster Pooja, I have listened your speech before, and you have been phenomenal each time. I know you're going to give me a hard time evaluating you. All the very best. I'm looking forward to the wonderful speech today. Over to you, Toastmaster Anand.
Thank you, Megha. My humble request now with audience members. If you have any additional text draft that you are still typing, pass it on to the previous speakers in one-on-one chat. When the speaker comes on spotlight, let us try not to cause any distractions with the public chat messages. That being said, while the evaluator Megha will do her job, request you all to make your own short, sweet notes, mental or written ones, and pass it on to Megha in the same manner after her speech during that 1 minute of silence. Let's invite our next speaker, Toastmaster Pooja, who is already standing and waiting for me to stop blabbering. All right, Pooja, quick audio video check.
Am I audible and visible?
You are audible, you are visible. A light is a bit dim, but I think it should do. Can you speak a longer sentence? Say, I am incredible.
I am incredible.
Fantastic. Your video audio sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our speaker number 2 for this evening, Toastmaster Pooja Kushwaha. I regret I have only one life to give to my country. I regret I have only one life to give to my country. Toastmaster Pooja Kushwaha.
Imagine a battlefield in Burma, 1942. The bullets are flying and soldiers are failing. And a young captain was leading his men forward. And suddenly, a machine gun fires, teared his stomach and lungs, and he collapsed. He was severely wounded by 9 bullets in his stomach. The surgeon saw him. He was in his senses. He just asked him, "What happened to you, young man?" And he was just smiled and said, "Nothing much. I think a bloody mule just kicked me." And the surgeon was shocked and surprised. And he said, "Your life is worth saving." And India was fortunate that he was survived on that day. That severely wounded captain was none other than Sam Manekshaw. Earlier, then after that, he went on and became India's first field marshal of Indian Army. But the greatness of Sam Manekshaw is not about rank or medals. It's all about his character. He was closely related and empathized with soldiers. He understood their pains. He understood that soldiers are humans too. And once he said, if a soldier says that he don't have fear of death, either he is lying or either he is Gorkha. He understood their pains. He understood their fears. He understood that their families are waiting for them. But they choose duty over fears. And because of this, their men called him Sam Bahadur. In the war of 1971, the Manekshaw had courage to stand for his ground, even when he had a pressure to act immediately. But he waited for the right moment to lead Indian Army to create a historic victory within 13 days. And he has created a new country, that is Bangladesh. But his greatness, it's not about the victory. It's all about what he did after the victory. He showed compassion towards the prisoner of war. He believes that we can defeat enemies with the compassion. We can defeat enemy not forgetting the humanity. That was Sam Manekshaw. So today we honor Sam Manekshaw not only because he was a field marshal, but a soldier who chooses courage, a team leader who chooses his men, a commander who chooses leading a team, and a patriot who chooses to give his one life for his country. And in his own word, when he was dying, he says that if I die in the battlefield, if I die in the battlefield, box me up. If I die in the battlefield, box me up. Take my gun, put it on my chest. Take my gun, put it on my chest, and tell my mom, I did my best. I did my best. Today might be the battle was over. His voice is silent, but his legacy still stands. So Sam Manekshaw, sir, yes, you did your best. And today we, with the pride, honor, and gratitude, we salute you. And you all always be there in the Indian history. Thank you so much, everyone.
Wow, wow, wow. Excellent speech again, Pooja. And this time you actually use this platform to commemorate a truly great soldier and son of India. Thank you so much. And folks, you know the drill. Renu, show me a soft signal at the end of 1 minute. Folks, use this time to provide the feedback. Praise in public, recommendations in private. Thank you, timer. Our third speaker of the day is a past district officer, a present president, I believe, as well as someone who is attempting the toughest art form when it comes to public speaking, that is humor. And we all need to support the speaker by showing our unfiltered expressions in form of emojis as well as reactions as much as possible. Before I introduce our third speaker, Kanav, today, let's invite his evaluator, Toastmaster Sara from Janakpuri, or as Rupinder says, Tilakpuri, Tilaknagar. Toastmaster Sara, you decide where do you want to be called out for. But here you are on the spotlight.
Thank
You're
you,
on mute.
Toastmaster of the Day.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
My target speaker is Toastmaster Kanav Huria. They will be delivering their Level 3 Project 1 from the path Engaging Humor. The objective of the speech is to determine their style of humor and apply it in a speech that centers around a particular message. The title of the speech is Be Inspiring, Be Inspiring. The time is 5 to 7 minutes. I repeat, the time is 5 to 7 minutes. I will give my report towards the evaluation segment, and I wish Toastmaster Kanav the best of luck.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sara. One correction for everyone, though it differs culture to culture or club to club or region to region. In Turning Board Toastmasters, what we usually do is evaluators, they share the evaluation objectives and leave it for the presenter, be it TMOD or anyone else, to announce the title. The reason being, we are preparing our speakers for the contest season as well, where the moment their title is announced, the speech anticipation begins among the audience members. So effectively, the announcement of title is the moment where the speech begins. All right. So timer, note down 5 to 7 minutes. Let's invite Advocate Kanav Huria on stage. Kanav, can we have you on the stage?
Hello.
Uh, okay, I am spotlighting you myself. Ladies and gentlemen, Kanav is an advocate as well as a Toastmaster for about 4 years now. He has cases ongoing. Okay, he has been fighting ongoing cases. It's not that he has cases upon him. Pardon me for the language. So he has cases ongoing in that sense at Delhi and Punjab and Haryana High Courts. And he has also been present at Telangana High Court. Uh, on a personal front, he is someone who is a dedicated member of the community. You'll find him across the demonstration meetings of Toastmasters, not just in Delhi, but also in online or virtual mode. So let's celebrate this true soldier of Toastmasters community with a nice round of applause as I announce him with a title. Toastmaster Kanav, be inspiring. Be inspiring, Toastmaster Kanav.
Let me ask you something. Who inspires you the most? For someone, it might be a billionaire who has so much money, Elon Musk. For someone, it can be a professional basketball player, Kobe Bryant. And for someone like me, it can be Andrew Tate. Okay, it's not for me. What happens when you try to be inspiring? There are three paths, three people. First, let me go towards the road of when you follow responsibility. Kobe Bryant was the one guy who talks about going to everything he's doing to become a better basketball player. Yes, everything. He even go and see to the restaurant whether that bread is going to increase his calories so that he can have better footwork. So everything you do, that's responsibility. You have to be responsible for everything and anything you are doing. A second example of a billionaire, Elon Musk. One of my friends went to Elon Musk DMs and sent him, "Hello, I am someone who just wanted to talk with you. Can you reply?" And obviously, he did not see it. Elon Musk, being busy enough, he did not see his messages, and he just went on by. But that guy was disappointed and cursing that guy. Why is he not seeing me? I just love you so much. Why are you not seeing me? Second guy, he's inspiration for us. But that inspiration, for reaching that inspiration, they have to go to a lower level. Do not seek the king, seek the knight. Knight, as in someone two step above than you, someone who was just 6 months ahead. So finding someone who's a billionaire is no luck. And coming to the third example, which is Andrew Tate. At one time, he was the biggest sensation among young guys from teenage years, 16 to 19, maybe 20, 21, we can include them as well. But this guy is the third wheel of inspiration chapter. Why? Sometimes you can do things wrong. You still get ahead. But you sometimes have to come back and see whether am I doing things right. Andrew Tate might have taught so many people not to go. You have to be mindful about your emotions, but he has created fights. First, every guy has gotten a slap because of him, and second, people will say that why are you talking about him? It's because that that kind of inspiration needs some implementation towards your thinking process. Sometimes you are following anyone, so that has to be stopped. Okay, you have to be mindful about who are you following. Sometimes you can say the person is having 3 cases against him. Yes, I did not had any cases. You have to be mindful. Otherwise, people and you will fall into the wrong track. Just to be truly inspiring, follow the path of Kobe Bryant. Do everything with the best of intentions and let the outcome come from the back. Because at the end of the day, it might be Elon Musk who's not responding, or a Kobe Bryant who is inspiring you too much, or someone like Andrew Tate who's saying go approach women. But you know what is right in your heart. These three people are there to guide, but you have to choose the right way. Because at the end of the day, what matters is how you can be inspiring. So that's it from my side. Back to the distinguished Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Kana, for that astute speech. Folks, you know the drill. Praise in public, recommendations in private. 1 minute of time in between, after which Renu will give us a soft signal. Thank you, Renu. While we are commenting still in the private chat, time now for us to move on for our final speaker of the day. Now, before the speaker begins, here is a disclaimer that he himself shared in the WhatsApp group of the club. This is a rehashed version of his past ISC contest speech. This very well be a moment where he assimilates the feedback received today and convert this into a district winning speech. So be generous in giving him the feedback in the private window. For now, giving him a dedicated evaluation afterwards, let me invite evaluator for our speaker number 4, Animesh, a quite illustrious speaker in his own caliber, Toastmaster Manoj. Manoj, can we have you on the stage as evaluator?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and in particular, my target speaker, Toastmaster Animesh Das. Animesh is attempting a speech from writing a speech with a purpose, and the purpose of the speech is for the member to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. With that, I hand back the podium to the Toastmaster of the day. And good luck, Animesh, and looking forward to this speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manoj. Let me immediately switch the spotlight to the speaker on the podium, Toastmaster Animesh. Animesh, quick audio video check. Say, I am incredible.
I am incredible.
Fantastic. Timer, please note the speech is for 5 to 7 minutes. Now, here is a tidbit about Animesh. Beyond what I have already spoken, he has recently completed 1 year at his current firm, Co Strategics in Bangalore. And just the last week, he has delivered a theme STMOD as from Baroda to Bangalore and captured his professional journey of sorts. I met him for the first time at Triple IT Hyderabad as a young, nervous speaker. Rupinder called it out last meeting that he carries a nervous energy. I rather find him authentic. So he wears his heart on his sleeve. And today you are going to witness another cracking speech from his side. Ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to our speaker number 4, Toastmaster Animesh Das. Just a second. So, Toastmaster Animesh, here you go. Oops, just a second. What happened? I don't want to mispronounce your title. That's why I want to just double check it. All right. Go ahead, Toastmaster Animesh. Take the plunge. Go ahead. Take the plunge, Toastmaster Animesh.
Thank you so much. Oh, you're too old for this. You don't have the experience for this. Oh, you're too young. What are you even doing here? Raise a hand if you have heard things like this from the people around you. Raise a hand, come on. Oh, see, I feel for you. I feel for all of you, man. I feel for all of you. See, we are constantly bombarded by, compliments, comments like this every single time. Think about Boman running his mother's bakery before he, went into part-time photography and then became an actor in his 40s. Right? We know him as Dr. Asthana from Munna Bhai MBBS. We know him as Viru Sastravudde from Three Idiots. Think about Morgan Freeman. Struggled for years before his breakthrough in Shawshank Redemption. Or think about the latest in this list, New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani. Now, this man could have coasted through his entire life with Hollywood privilege. I mean, he could, being the son of legendary filmmaker Meeranan, right? But he chose to rise up for the working class, dip his toes, take the plunge into the New York politics, the high stakes world of New York politics. And not just that, do that with loud graphic design, endless charm, and a resolve to defy the establishment, the political establishment, all alongside the love of his life, Ramaduaji. Oh, by the way, quick disclaimer, I have a man crush on Zoran. Yes, I do. But seriously though, uh, think about this. They all refused to stay comfortable, right? Let comfort dictate their paths. Despite all of these comforts available, they took the plunge anyway. But if they feel too distant, here's a story for you. Here's a story from someone who took the plunge, lived to tell the tale, and is still jumping to this day. A few years ago, during my dual degree program at TPTM Hyderabad, I was deep into my research in speech processing. My topic was, of course, Bengali dialect, the inculcating an understanding of dialectical differences into an AI, making machines understand human speech recognition. To give a brief, academic research is grueling. It's lonely, or it may not be, depending on the advisor. With my advisor then, it was pretty lonely. And you need to publish a paper on top of that to be able to graduate. So seriously, that is a criterion. 5 years I invested into this topic without a paper, without anything. Lost access to vital resources during COVID-19. Came back to campus to get the kicker that my advisor left the institute. And suddenly, academic administrators, all of the professors, nobody was willing to back me up. Backed into a corner. Yet, I finally found a lifeline. One professor, Professor Sachin Chaudhary, helped me out of that rut of no progress, right? Helped me realize that this loyalty that I have to speech processing is not enough. It's just draining too much. So I ended up switching to IoT, Internet of Things, making machines talk to each other. Published a paper, took on a new project, all of it I did. And graduated from TPTM Hyderabad, defending my thesis on January 2024, graduating in July 2024. Public applauded. So I thought, I thought that was the end of it. And then, right after graduation, I started an internship. Think about this. I went from speech processing to Internet of Things. From Internet of Things, I jumped into data engineering. All the while, I had an offer coming for a project in charge at a university. I couldn't take that up. So I ended up in that internship. Finally, when that internship didn't work out, it didn't work out, by the way, just saying. But it wasn't just because of the timing or that I was an intern. Amidst all of that, suddenly data pipelines didn't matter for me, mainly because my father was also admitted to the hospital. So in those 6 months, I saw a lot from a corporate culture to my dad in the ICU, waiting with bated breath for a positive result. Suddenly, nothing mattered anymore apart from my dad. Think about that. Ultimately, because that internship didn't work out, I went on a career break. And ended up applying every day to various companies, even got scammed in the middle. But not just that. I also had a breakup. So think about this: no job, a recovering father, a broken heart. It's got to break a man. It did for a while. And then somehow I picked myself up. Somehow my cousins stepped in, helped me pick myself up. And an internship at another company, at another very low profile company. Low profile in the sense less than a year into incorporation. Ended up teaching me to value myself. So I dipped my toes back into the job market and finally secured a job at my current company. It's been a year since then. And while I don't have a 1 BHK to my name, I can definitely say that things are better. Even in this particular job, I started out as a trainee, 3 months. Each and every time, like before, I heard those exact words that told me, "You're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready." But I swam those waters before, and this time I got to the other end. I found land. I landed a confirmation. So, since the last 9 months, actually, I have been an associate software engineer at GoStrategies, handled 3 clients. And I look at me from 2 years ago, and all I can think of is he wasn't aware that his story was just starting. So the next time the world looks at your sudden pivots, your sudden changes, your insistent failures, your incessant experiments, and says, "Oh, so sad," stand up and say, "Heaven knows I tried. Heaven knows I took the plunge. Heaven knows I went ahead and took the plunge." Because as Zoran Mamdani once said, "We may not always succeed, but never, ever will we be accused of lacking the courage to try." So go ahead and take the plunge. Because heaven knows you went ahead and took the plunge. Over to you.
Great speech, Animesh. Not just the heaven, we also, your brethren in Toastmasters, know that you have taken the plunge and came out victorious. Great job, great speech. Let's have 1 minute of silence, one final time for us to collect our thoughts, pass on the commendations and recommendations in public and private chats respectively. Thank you, Renu. All the applause that the speakers have received in the chat section and in their private windows are well deserved. I want to share something of my own, kind of boasting about it. I told Rupinder that I would do it in between the transitions. And this is something close to my heart. What if I tell you, being a freelancer, it's not always pleasant to let go of some earning opportunities to get into some learning opportunities. I have done that this year, 2 semesters in a row. I could have been sitting at a college teaching my favorite subject, design thinking, as a visiting professor. I had to let go of that to get through a tougher grind. Something that I immensely feel grateful towards Toastmasters experience and the community for, to teach me these skills. I have been leading quietly an SHG of my own, a self-help group of women under my NGO as a pilot project. This pilot project has been supported by N3M Foundation of Gurugram, as well as the Department of Corporate Citizenship at SP Jain Mumbai College and the MBA one. And they have been helping me with the processes, with the uh, necessary equipments, etc., to set up a self-help group, teach them employability skills, and get them off the ground financially. For good 7-8 months, we worked hard. We did not get a sale. We could not come up with a product viable enough to be launched in the market, which will actually go beyond the local market. We have worked hard, however, for papad, mangodi, the rice and corn papads, etc., for the local consumption. Last to last weekend, I was fortunate enough to be invited at Jaipur to launch some salted peanut, etc. products. Shaleen was over there from Pink City Toastmasters. It was their own venue where this event happened. Shaleen, I hope the peanuts were tasty enough.
Yes, they were.
Fantastic. I'm so pleased to tell all of you that after that mini success, this Sunday at Delhi, at the Toastmaster Leadership Training Program, with good 125 to 150 sort of audiences, we are going to have another stall set up. And this time we are not going just with peanuts and the roasted chana. We are going with a product that I am proud to announce. I have prepared this today itself. Uh, this is an air fryer made product. I'm calling it Panch Meva Mix, but because it's going to be launched at Toastmasters event, we have branded it as Toasted. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the mini revolution that we are getting off the ground here in my local rural Rajasthan. And here is a lesson that I want to share with all this advertisement. The lesson is, for good 7-8 months, you may not feel a tangible change or improvement. And suddenly within a couple of months, you may see tremendous improvement, just like a bamboo, how a bamboo grows. Toastmaster works just like that. Meeting after meeting after meeting, we go through the grind and deliver speeches, deliver the evaluations, take up roles as seemingly insignificant as our counter or grammarian or timer or even sergeant at arms. But slowly, inherently, we are improving the facilitation skill, introduction skills, research skill, data collection, data reporting skills. There are tons of skills, and I'm not advocating for pathways, which boasts itself of that we teach 300 to 400 competencies. Yes, that may be there. But in this human experience, in this human experiment, we learn valuable skills. This, however, will be incomplete if there is not a dedicated team of players who call it out. Opportunities, not mistakes. They call out opportunities for us to improve, and by that virtue, everyone else who is going to be through that grind, but it helps them as well. We call it evaluation. Today, the flavor will be evaluation to elevate. So let's bring the person in charge to lead this process, evaluate to elevate, the general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Rupinder Singh and his competent team. Rupinder, I hand it over to you. Make the magic work.
Audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, let's have a huge round of applause for our Toastmaster of the evening, our meeting host, distinguished Toastmaster Anant Katyayani. And one of the reasons why I'm applauding so hard is because every time I applaud, my step count goes up, and my wife, who has access to my smartwatch, thinks that I'm running. So we are for Rupinder. Over here. I mean, Toastmasters helps you grow in more ways than you think. So let's begin with our first evaluator, and evaluator 3, Sara, requested that she has somewhere else to be. I believe she might have said better to be, but I'll go with somewhere else to be. So we're going to start with her evaluation. Now, after every evaluation, I'm going to give a tidbit about how to do evaluations, especially with the evaluation contest up. So stay tuned and keep your pens and pads, pencils and notepads if you're environmental conscious ready. Sarah, let's very quickly do an audio video check for you.
This is an audio video check.
Audio video check passed. Your weapons free and clear to engage.
Do what you inspire to do. Let the outcomes come from the back. What an unexpected message from the speech when I first heard the initial few words that mentioned Andrew Tate. Regardless, the speech was a pleasant surprise to me, and I genuinely applaud the efforts of the speaker. What I loved about the speech was the initial pause when the character of the friend went to Elon Musk, talked to Elon Musk. There was a slight pause, and then the speaker clarified to the DMs. That bit added a good way to deliver a joke using a pause, which I personally feel is very underrated. What I also loved about the speech was the title, Be Inspiring. The speech was definitely inspiring, and the title was very much appropriate for the content that was delivered. But with great inspirations comes great improvements as well. Uh, Personally, what I felt when I heard the character of Andrew Tate being introduced, I felt that a little less controversial character could have been employed in a speech because as I think because I don't think the overall perception and the general reception of Andrew Tate is not that positive. He's known in a pretty negative light. He's known in a very negative light, and that could have impacted the audience, especially audience who might be women. And as we all know, I think Andrew Tate's content has impacted a lot of hate towards women as well. And if a less controversial but more well known figure, similar to Elon Musk, perhaps Mark Zuckerberg, could have been used better. And this might not have turned audience away as well. What I also recommend is the character of the friend, and when the Elon Musk conversation was going, this could have used a voice modulation, particularly when Elon Musk, I think Elon Musk would have been described with the American accent and even with the gesture of money, billionaires, that could have added a funny twist. In summary, a pleasant surprise that delivered with a pause of a humor. And an amazing title that was appropriate with the content, with some with recommendation in including less controversial figures and employing voice modulation in characters in a speech. Toastmaster Kanav, keep inspiring. Over to Timon. General Evaluator.
First of all, excellent evaluation, Sarah. Very quickly, going with what she aced. I love the hook that she had at the beginning, that she started with the one particular thing that she liked, and that's an excellent way to start an evaluation because that hooks the audience right from the start, especially if you're in an evaluation contest. I'm speaking from a contest perspective. Then another thing you notice, she had this consistent knowing smile when she was speaking, and it kind of reminded me that I don't smile when I speak. So now I'm smiling. I think that's because of Sarah. I also like that when she was giving her evaluations, she used the phrase, I felt that. In that, she was expressing her opinion. She wasn't being authoritative. She's not being declarative. She's just stating her opinion. I love that fact. So maybe you want to take notes. Start with what you love the most, consistent smile, a knowing smile, and state your opinions when you are delivering evaluations. The one thing that I would ask Sarah to do is not to use but or however. When you use but, you kind of negate whatever you've said. For example, you'll say that I think Rupinder is an awesome person, but Rupinder and everybody will stop hearing. Rupinder will stop hearing after but. The rest of them will sit up and notice. Okay, what after but? Okay, so for this, a but is kind of challenging. Let's move on to our next evaluator. And it seems like we have a deluge of evaluators who want to leave early. So we have Megha. Sorry, Srishti, I'll come back to you. Relax. Well, I know you are important in my life, seriously. Let's have Megha and her speaker spotlighted. Megha, audio video check.
Am I audible and visible?
You're audible, you're visible, you're incredible. Go ahead.
My speaker, Pooja Kushwaha, first of all, she looked beautiful. How professional did she look? Did she look in the dress she was wearing? As I was listening to her speech, I was assuming myself at a place, at a dining table setup, where she is standing and giving a speech honoring the leader of our the country we as a honoring the leader we had as a country in our country. So I would have clapped so hard after the speech if I really would have present at that moment. It was a phenomenal speech, Pooja. I love the way you I love the way you ended the speech. I'm sorry, I'm just getting a bit of yeah. Thank you so much, Anand. I love the way you started your speech. You didn't disclose the leader you were speaking immediately after your speech. You shared the anecdote of his life, and then you made us think about who the leader can be. It made me thinking who the leader is she talking about. And yes, we all must have watched the movie, Sam Shaw's movie, so I was able to detect who the leader was. So your speech made us thought, and that was a positive point in your speech. I liked the speaker's ending of the speech. She quoted the leader's quote with her emotions in it, and I could felt those emotions very hard. I could felt that you were feeling the proud you have in for him in your heart. So kudos to you on that. The speaker, the only challenge I would like to give her for her speech is that the repetition. I would like to clarify myself here. Repetition in two areas. First, the space she was using. Second, the hand movement. I would like to, in fact, showcase what I really meant. As she was standing, the speaker was moving in the circular motion almost throughout the speech. and the hand movements were restricted to only these. For there were many areas where the hand movements could have been different. I felt it could have been different. Like I could quote one. You saluted the leader, Sam Manekshaw. So she could have saluted him by her hand movement, and this could be the area of improvement. I believe she can have in her further speeches. Talking about the space she was using, I'm sure she must be having some space hurdle. That is why she was not able to move horizontally, as the laptop screen shows horizontally to the viewers. But overall, in conclusion, the speech was phenomenal as always. Your dressing sense, Pooja, it always attracts me so much. Yeah, her the way of emphasizing the words she wants the audience to listen carefully is phenomenal and awesome. Kudos to you for that, and good luck for your next speeches. Over to you, Toastmaster Rupinder.
Okay. First things first, what we can learn from Megha. She exuded empathy in the way she spoke. She kind of conveyed how she felt, and she really felt it. You could feel it, that the way she was talking about the user's experiences, the way she was saying that I felt myself standing at sitting in front of a dining table and listening to your speech. She felt involved. And at some point, we also started feeling involved. We started, it's like a bulb, lighting up inside our head. Yep, what she's talking about can help us evaluate better. So empathy is one thing that you might want to focus on when you are delivering your evaluations, putting yourself in the shoes of your speaker. One thing that I would say to Megha, even if there was a disturbance, ignore that, never apologize. Think of yourself like a stand-up comedian. Even if the audience is booing at you, you carry on, no matter what happens. Okay, let's now finally welcome the beauty from Malaysia, Srishti Mehrotra. Let's do an audio video check.
Hi, am I audible and visible?
Yes, and you can sound more alive. I know it is late in Malaysia.
Yeah. All right. Okay, just another check. Am I audible and visible?
Super. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Before I get into evaluation, Toastmaster Chandni, I commend you for coming back to Toastmasters. And as is tradition, I would like to start my evaluation with a round of applause, a standing ovation, and I would encourage everyone else in this meeting to also do the same. All right. Thank you. Starting with what I loved. I think you started with a bang. Not just the first phrase of your speech, which as a rhetorical question was completely attention grabbing, but I also commend your use of alliteration in your title, From Nerd to Nomad. It was a great title. The opening was very effective. You had me hooked from the beginning. I also loved how you used different um, literary agents, or you use metaphors, the interplay of love metaphor, romance with engineering, love affair with economics, that you use to enhance your speech. And I think a lot of them came together and made your speech really engaging and enticing, and made us engage more than just our eyes and our ears. So I really commend you on that. On the flip side, I do feel there was something that got in the middle of the beautiful message and the energetic performance that you wanted to deliver, and I believe that was your audio setup. It is something that is easily rectified, but I do feel that there was some echo And in certain areas, when you were speaking loudly, your voice was breaking. Now, this could have been due to some of your Zoom mic settings or a hardware issue that can easily be resolved by getting an additional mic. Usually, when we have a video which is not so great, but the audio is carrying through, that is preferable to a great video with the audio breaking up. So that's something that I would like for you to keep in mind. And lastly, to challenge yourself, I think you've taken a great step by showing up, by registering, by returning. And I would like to challenge you to stay regular, keep coming back to keep the momentum going after your fantastic restart in Toastmasters. And my specific challenge to you would be to complete your next speech before the end of this month. All in all, I think it was great. It was engaging, and I'm so looking forward to hearing your speech within this month. And with that, I would close my evaluation and hand it back over to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Rupinder.
What I loved about Srishti's speeches, she did not make a mistake that a lot of people make. A lot of people say, before I start, let me blah, 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 blah. And then they forget to start at all. They straight away go into their evaluation and they conveniently forget that they said before I start. And that's a disconnect. Srishti made sure that that did not happen. She made sure that before I start, she said, now I start my evaluation. So kudos to you, Srishti, because that is very easily to miss out. The other thing, a lot of people might say that she was not maintaining eye contact. Here's the thing. When you're in an evaluation contest, nobody's seeing your eye contact. Nobody's going to mark you if you're going to read from the paper. So that is one myth that people have, that if I don't carry my paper and if I just deliver my evaluation like that, maybe I'll get more marks. Not true, because that would be a personal bias on the part of the judge. Yes, you might score some marks based on confidence, but you are perfectly allowed to carry your paper. Then I love the way she used on the flip side. Ordinarily, I would have said, okay, that sounds like but this came so naturally. I'm actually thinking of using it in my evaluation speech contest. And if I fail, I can always blame Srishti for that. But the way I liked it, the way she gave her recommendations, she did not just give recommendations. If you noticed, she also gave practical solutions, something that Pooja can try out. And that is the essence of evaluations. An extra mic. Now, Pooja might use an extra mic next time, but she has certainly given her food for thought. Pooja knows that there is a way I can resolve the situation. Maybe do something about my mic. That elevates her. And that is actually evaluating to elevate. So great job, Srishti. No particular recommendations as such. There is one, but that is common for everyone. I'll come back to that. Now, let me invite my last evaluator, Toastmaster Manoj, and let's see what flavor he brings to our evaluations. Manoj, very quickly, audio video check.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I think I'll be able to hear you in the future. Let's go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator. Go ahead and take a plunge, Animesh Das. And the purpose of the speech was all about the purpose you need to say about it. You know what I really like about your speech throughout was kind of energy, kind of enthusiasm, kind of excitement. Now, let me tell you, this is not dramatization. This is not theatrical. This is something which is in your DNA. But many people, when it comes to evaluations, they try to get that facelift on themselves and trying to make those kind of things, which is not in your case. You are absolutely real. This is inbuilt in yourself. And it's very difficult, someone like you, to come up, a speaker like here, to have the energy in a 16-inch, the lectern or whatever actually the screen we have, and which can be showcasing it. The second thing which I really like about the hook statement you have, the hook statement, oh, you told old, oh, you've been so young. The kind of change of face you have, once young from here, the old kind of thing, which is also very real. And it's very difficult when you having the small screen, you need to showcase that. Those two things was, I believe, the first thing, which was the enthusiasm, the bubbliness in yourself was iconic in your speech, and was throughout your speech. I mean, all those 6 minutes was there. We can all see it. In my personal mind, so I can see that actually there. Now, I'm not here to give you kind of all those good encouragement. I'm sure you are a great speaker. I've seen you before. I really want you to get well actually in yourself. Now, I would be playing a kind of a bit of a devil advocate here. When I say energy, the speech has a lot of emotions there. You need to have the emotions. It doesn't require a lot of energy. It has to have the right energy. And speech, in my mind's eye, if I should say, it should have this emotional rhythm. So when I say, think about a voice, a soundtrack of the movie or a kind of thing, a suspense scene doesn't have to have an upbeat music. A victory scene doesn't have to be soft or gloomy music. It has to have the powerful things. There are occasions where you have these conversations or the feel you had when dad was sick. I was seeing that enthusiasm and excitement. So why? Why do you have to do that? Something which I personally think you should have been looked into it. The second thing which I personally see in yourself, you're a good storyteller, no doubt about it. This is what my armor in my arsenal is that, always peel your story like an onion. Think about a story like an onion when I say is that the audience doesn't experience the full richness by looking at on the top. They appreciate the layer when they started to carefully peel one by one. So when you have this conversation, when you're self-doubting yourself, when you think that this is not going to go my way, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? What was running through your mind? You wanted to see that. Appeal other. In the end, what has changed? What lessons have you discovered, Animesh? Each layer will definitely bring your personal, the more vulnerable, more relatable things. So all in all, as I said before, the energy was there. It was absolutely great, iconic in his speech, but you need to balance the energy. It's not about energy, it's about the right energy and the storytelling where you can able to peel the energy like an onion. So with those things, I'm sure you would be definitely a good storyteller and also a good speaker. And I'm sure wish you good luck for winning those divisional contests in the near future. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Super. What I liked about Manoj was that he had a very assured, calm voice, even though he was quite expressive. That's something that I envy because I don't have that calm voice. I mean, I can be really expressive and I could be shouting at the top of my lungs. But Manoj did not have to do that. He was assured, he was calm, he was expressive. Loved the transition that he made. Manoj, only one recommendation for you, and it's kind of controversial. There are some who believe that recommendations should be generic. So we should not be referring to the speaker in the first person, should not be saying you. I differ there, but I'll tell you that in an evaluation contest, you will eventually find a judge who is actually looking for a fault, and the only fault that they will find with you is that, oh, he called the speaker you, or he called the speaker by name. So just be mindful of that. Otherwise, awesome evaluation. Superb job. Let's have a round of applause for uh, Manoj. We have the polls. Let's quickly vote for the best speech evaluator.
You can continue after 30 seconds.
I'll
I'll
continue.
close this and go to the next poll.
Yes, thank you, Anand. And I have just two recommendations that whether you're giving a commendation or whether you're giving a recommendation, follow a structure. What is that structure? First of all, state your opinion. What did you see? Then give an example of how they did. For example, I could say, Animesh, you had excellent vocal variety. I love the way you use the different voices. That is an example. Then impact. I wish I could do that. I wish I could learn that from you. And then you give the next step. In the case of a commendation, what you are going to do, in the case of recommendation, what you want them to do. If you tell them how to improve or how you will improve, it's a complete rounded compliment or a recommendation. So opinion, example, impact, and how. These forward. The last thing that I wanted to say to every evaluator is that the moment you see yellow card, start thinking summary. Write this down anywhere you want, but the moment you see the yellow card, start thinking in terms of summary, because when you do evaluations, and especially in evaluation contests, the moment you see the yellow card, in your mind you're used to a prepared speech where you have the red card coming up after a minute. The red card is actually coming up after 30 seconds. By the time that hits, the red card hits, you're already into your recommendations, and now suddenly you have to make a hodgepodge job of your summarization. Your summary carries 15 marks. That is where a lot of people lose out when they do evaluations, specifically in evaluation contests. So, thumb rule, the moment you see red card, the moment you see the yellow card, start summarizing, not only in evaluations, but also in table topics, because in table topics also, the red card will be there before you know it. So thumb rule, yellow card, summarize. Within the first 15 seconds of seeing the yellow card, start summarizing, no matter where you are with your recommendations. How do you ensure that this works? I say 2C, 2R, 2C, summary. 2 commendations, 2 recommendations, 2 commendations, summary. And if you follow the opinion, example, impact, and how, you will be able to fit it inside, and you should finish somewhere around the 3-minute 15 mark, which is the sweet spot for an evaluation. Thank you very much to all the evaluators. Now I call on my battery of auxiliary role players, starting with the grammarian Toastmaster Navdit.
Well, thank you, Toastmaster Rupinder. I think first I will start with my report for the word of the day and phrase of the day counts. Toastmaster Anand used word of the day 3 times. Toastmaster Rupinder used word of the day 2 times. Toastmaster Rahul 1 time. Then we have phrase of the day usage by Toastmaster Rupinder and Toastmaster Shrishti once. Coming back to the speeches and the speakers report, I am astutely impressed by the delivery of all the speakers. On the flip side, I have some specific suggestions for everyone. So quickly, I will start with Chandni Agarwal's speech. So I'm going to give 2 words and a phrase for every speaker from what I liked in their speech. For Chandni Agarwal, I would call your speech as polished and poised. Some good usages were there. That was a reality check. Little did I know. And was only one place where I could find some improvement area, is that you used the phrase, God has chosen me. In my view, it could have been God chose me. Toastmaster Pooja, you really left an impression on me by describing the life of a veteran army officer, Sam Maneksham. What I really liked in your speech was the usage of character traits, compassion, empathetic, pride, honor, gratitude. So these are some of the words which really describes the characters of the person. Then coming back to some good some other good usages you mentioned in his senses. Duties over fear were some of the usages which I really liked in those sentences. My recommendation would be, since the speech was completely delivered in the past tense, there were some instances where you mentioned tear, it could have been tore. He was survived, it could have been he survived. And then you mentioned choose, that should be chose. For Toastmaster Kanaf, the two words for your speech would be compelling and cohesive. What I really liked in about as in the good usage is you used a really good phrase. Do not seek the king, seek the knight. There were also two other phrases where like fell into the wrong trap and at the end of the day. My recommendations for you in terms of grammar would be, you mentioned that everything he do, it should have been everything he does. Did not see could have been replaced by ignored, and did not have could have been did not had. Did not had could have been replaced by did not have. Lastly, Toastmaster Animesh Das, two words, expressive and energetic. I would call that speech. Some good usages were there, constantly bombarded. You used some really good words like bated breath, dipped my toes, incessant, heaven knows. So these were some of the phrases which amplified the delivery, in my view. Then coming back to the recommendations. So recommendations again would be that you use a phrase where you mentioned deep in research. In my view, it could have been deep into research. And you used break where it could have been breaks for a singular pronoun. So that is me as your grammarian's report. Back to Journal Evaluator Rupinder.
Thank you very much. I'll do a final report in the evaluation section. I've already evaluated evaluators, so I'm going to leave them out. Let's welcome our next auxiliary role player, Toastmaster Sadhna. She's going to talk to us through the filler words.
Am I visible and audible?
Yes, and my mistake, I should have checked that.
I'd like to share my report, so I am sending the request.
Hello.
Yes. Thank you so much. I tried to make astute observations as an AHA counter. And today's meeting showcased a high standard of speaking. Most speakers showed a high standard of speaking and nearly flawless, with minimal verbal crutches and excellent delivery. On the flip side, I did note a few verbal crutches that may help some speakers improve their delivery. So let's start with the speakers first. Toastmasters Chandni, I haven't reported any repeated words, and for Pooja as well. Then Toastmaster Kanav, little bit of unnecessary pauses. Toastmaster Animesh, 3 and ahas. Repeated words 1, that is you know, and a little bit of unnecessary pauses. Moving on to evaluators. Toastmaster Sara, 1 aha and no repeated words. Pauses yes. Toastmaster Megha, 6 ah and no repeated words. Then unnecessary pauses were there. Toastmaster Shrishti, 2 aha and unnecessary pauses a little bit. Toastmaster Manoj, 1 aha and no repeated words. Then grammarian, Toastmaster Navdeep, I didn't report any or repeated words, but Few pauses were there. So this concludes my report. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator.
And now for my final role player, I ask Renu to step up to the plate. Renu, let's do an audio video check.
Am I audible or visible?
You're audible and visible. Let's go ahead.
Let's share my screen.
Hello, go ahead.
Just a second.
Your audio just dropped.
Hello.
Now you're audible.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes. Go ahead.
Renu, you're on mute.
You're muted, Renu.
Hello.
Now we can hear you, Renu. Go ahead.
Okay. So my report is Chandni speak for 4 minutes, 58 seconds. Pooja spoke for 5 minutes, 36 seconds. He is spoke over the time. His time was 3 to 4 minutes. Kanav spoke for 6 minutes, 17 seconds. Animesh Das spoke for 10 minutes, 40 seconds. He also went over the time. Animesh time was 5 to 7 minutes. Now coming to the evaluation. Srishti Malhotra, I'm sorry for Srishti, because of my internet disconnected, so I cannot note down your time. Now for evaluator 2, Megha Bansal, she spoke for 3 minutes 50 seconds. Sara spoke for 3 minutes 43 seconds, and Manoj Nair spoke for 3 minutes 50 seconds. They all went over the time, over the grace period of time. That's all from my side. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Renu. And I have one last favor to ask of you. Please time me for 3 to 5 minutes as I present my general evaluator report. First of all, kudos to the sergeant at arms, scored on all the fronts, set up the meeting room properly before the start of meeting, started the meeting on time, and on an energetic note, the presiding officer needs to do their homework because he recognized dignitaries in the wrong order, and he failed to recognize guests. Guests, please stay because I am going to ask you for your feedback. Please overlook this misdemeanor. But he did introduce the Toastmaster of the day properly, if the Toastmaster of the day agrees. And he's going to fail on ending the meeting on time. So I'm going to mark him. That. Toastmaster of the day. Again, flawless, chose the theme well, explained the meeting roles, remember to call evaluators, also introduce the speakers properly, and ask the audience to write feedback after every speaker, introduced the role players in a proper manner. When it comes to speech evaluators, I've already given my evaluations, so I will skip that. Timer, explained your role properly, did try to improvise. I appreciate that. When we call out disqualifications, we don't call out who got disqualified. We simply read out the times and we let the audience decide for themselves who got disqualified. Same thing with our counter, role explained properly. When you have more than 5 filler words, stop counting, because anything that is more than 5 needs to be corrected. That is on part of the speaker. Because I remember my first time when I delivered my speech, somebody said to me, you had 21 hours and you had 19 ums and God knows what. And I was just looking at that person. I said, God, you really need life, because people need to be encouraged. So just stop counting after 5. Grammarian, same. Make the recommendations generic. I'm going to make an exception in this case because I'm going to call it out in this case. Why? Because not every one of us has English as the first language. So not every one of us is going to get the tenses right, the subject verb agreement right, pronunciations right. Instead, so comment the speakers by calling out their names. Great job there. But when you're calling out the recommendations, keep them generic. I usually go with somebody said this, should have been this. Somebody said that, should have been that. And when it comes to pronunciations, I simply read out the spellings and I ask them, what do you think the pronunciation should be? Other than that, excellent report. Loved the word of the day, astute. Loved on the flip side and the way that it was used. Meeting overall, I was wrong about one thing. I said to Anant that I'm not sure if I'm in favor of speech marathon. And yes, he did convince me on that. So, but great job, Anant, over there. Cross talks did not happen. Meeting was very energetic. The fact that we started off with 20, we're still at 17. We are maintaining an 85% success rate. I would kill for such kind of a meeting. No, I will not actually kill. But that is it as a general evaluator. And I hand it back to our Toastmaster of the evening or the meeting host, distinguished Toastmaster Anand Katyayani. It was an honor being your general evaluator.
Thank you, Rupinder. Don't be in such a haste. In the interest of time, I cede control back to you. However, I share in private chat the result of the polls to you, as well as launch one final poll, along with which you can take the audience feedback. So back to you as presiding officer. Rupinder, you're on mute.
Sorry. You said you shared the results with me, or should I go to the polls?
No, I shared with you. Did you receive?
Okay, so we have the best auxiliary role player. And again, the butler did it this time. Those of you who stayed with me long enough will know what I mean by that. It's the Grim who's won the best role player award. Congratulations, Toastmaster Navdeep. And we have the best speech evaluator. He's not with us. Toastmaster Manoj, superb job. And I'm given to understand that by a landslide, the best speaker of the day is someone speaking after 7 years. Congratulations, Toastmaster Chandani. Woohoo! Great job. And with that, we come to the end of the meeting. Before I close, I want to correct a mistake I made in the beginning. So I would first ask from the City Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Shalim, how did you feel about this meeting and the fact that you didn't get to speak in a table topic?
Yeah, so it's always great to attend your meetings. And yes, I had come to attend this meeting for table topics, but it was an evening well spent. I got to hear some very good speeches and some very good evaluations. And thanks for giving me this chance to attend your meetings over and over again. So thank you for that.
You're always welcome. Let's go over to some of our new members who have just joined us. Let's ask Toastmaster Rahul to give his experience and welcome back to Toastmasters. Toastmaster
Thank
Rahul.
you. Thank you so much, Rupinder, for having me, first of all. It was incredible meeting. I feel my attention span for online meetings has increased now to 2 hours. It's hard otherwise to stay so long until this 9 p.m. Um, Anant, what a host. You were amazing. Rupinder, you were legendary Toastmaster. You still are amazing. The speakers were incredible. Today, I think after long, I realized this today only. I didn't realize this in my past stint, 8.5 years back, that Toastmasters is a great place not for its speeches or table topics. It is great place for its evaluations. Very, very inspiring evaluations. Like someone who is just trying to learn, and of course, Rupinder, as you were continuously motivating people, right? If the English is not your first language, how do you motivate people? So absolutely great evaluations. I think that's the best part of the meeting. Yeah, excited to be here after so long. I didn't think I'll be here, but yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, Toastmaster Rahul might sound a little demure right now, but I can tell you he is one hell of a humorous speaker. And we have the humorous speech contest coming up. Do turn up for that because he is going to be among the front runners. He's the benchmark for humor as far as I'm concerned. Thank you, Rahul, for speaking. Dinesh, I believe we are meeting for the first time.
Yes,
How did you feel about the meeting?
yeah. Actually, we have met earlier also. 2 years back, I rejoined this Toastmaster, but I could not continue due to my personal reasons and some professional reasons. Last year, my mother expired. She was not well. 2 months back, my wife had an operation, major operation. So, but for a long time, I was thinking of joining this Toastmaster again, and now onwards, I will join. I will continue. In the beginning, I'll take some rules, and after that, I'll take speech slot from the next month.
Dinesh, more strength to you. And I hope that the future holds a better promise for you. Thank you for attending our meeting today. Let's go over to Seema. She is one of our newer members. Seema, how did you feel about the meeting today?
Thank you so much, sir, for giving me the opportunity. Well, it's absolutely pleasure to be a part of this meeting. A lot to learn from everyone. On the other hand, on the flip side, I found somewhere energy was dropped down. It plunged somewhere. However, there's always room for improvement. All in all, it was a good experience. Thank you. Over to you.
Like I said, on the flip side, acceptable. However, okay,
Sure,
we
good
also
luck.
have the president of Gurugram Professional Toastmasters, Nimit Mittal. He was with us for a while. Nimit, what brought you here? Was it my charming personality? No, it wasn't my charming personality. You have to unmute for that to work, Nimit.
Hello, everyone. Yes, indeed, I was here for your charming personality, and I saw that. And yes, I missed out on speeches, but I didn't miss out on the evaluations. I heard all the evaluations thanks to my office call getting cancelled today. Uh, I was just writing the feedback on the chat, but then just then you called me. So I thoroughly enjoyed the evaluations and the evaluation of evaluations by you. I loved, and it was very insightful to know the nitty gritties of how one must evaluate in an evaluation contest. So I made my notes, and I hope to implement those learnings in near future. Thank you for having me. It was great to be here and learn, even I was here for only some time. Thank you.
Thank you, Nimit, and to you and to all of those who are working. May all your office calls get cancelled at 7 o'clock in the evening. I know your bosses will not want to hear that, but that's the best I can wish you for. Believe me, it's the best wish you can get. You'll get to attend a Toastmasters meeting. Finally, let's move on to our guest, Preeti, who's been very patiently waiting, I believe, to speak. And I believe she is a TEDx speaker, so I kept the best for the last, I believe. Let's go ahead. Preeti, how did you like the meeting?
Thank you so much, Rupinder. So I'm absolutely new here. This is my second meeting. I've still not joined Toastmasters. And what I'm observing over the past two meetings, I observed that everybody, whosoever is speaking, is improving every time. And the best part is the evaluation part. Because when you're speaking, you're so engrossed in your speech, your diction, your vocabulary, and the person who's evaluating is noticing small little things. And this is what I'm looking for, because when you're speaking, you do not understand where you are going wrong. And so many people evaluating you and on different things, that is amazing. And I really enjoyed listening to all of you. And I was quite amazed to hear Manoj and Chandni generated a lot of inquisitiveness, I believe. And one thing I did not like, I would like to mention because I'm writing a book on corporate readiness. So, Chandni, are you here? If you are listening, please don't hang that hanger and that cloth at the backdrop was the only thing that I would like to mention here about Animesh, right? Animesh, I would like to know more about Animesh's journey. He never felt comfortable amongst the senior leadership, and today he's doing much better. He's very confident about what he's doing today. So I would like to know what changed. Did his perception change? What exactly did he improve in himself? Change, looking at the world differently, or he improved in himself? And then Pooja was quite good. Small little mistakes here and there, grammatical mistakes. But I love the content. I love the subject matter. And here I would like to add something more because I come from the army background and I'm writing books also on army. So, General Sam Manekshaw, he was not only a very good leader, but the way he represented his organization in the political scenario, he used to call the prime minister. He was much aura, his aura was much bigger than any politician. Wherever today, when we see it is like people are all just being followers of whatever is being told to them, they have become kind of yes men. Just that. Thank you so much, Rupinder, for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah, next meeting you're the general evaluator,
Oh my
100%.
No, I have to learn a lot. Thank you.
Oh, we all are here are learning. So welcome thank you so much. And you're welcome to join Toastmasters anytime you want. Our Vice President membership is Anshuman. You can actually contact Anant or you could contact me and I can help you out with membership. Speaking of which, Anant, have I missed out on anyone?
I think we are good to go, but just the announcement that the next meeting has already began, the planning of
Yes.
it in the WhatsApp group. A couple
Yeah.
of people have booked up the Toastmaster of the Day, grammarian, etc. roles. So catch it, grab it. We will have 2 speaker slots, both open. Go for it.
Okay, and on that note, I would request